What's going on, my trainer club? Today we're going to check out the top tips for Kyurem counter guide in Pokemon Go to make sure you are ready for everything coming at you, including the new shiny. So let's jump right in. We have Kyurem making its way into Pokemon Go raid battles. I hope you guys are ready for this. So Kyurem is going to take over for Reshiram and Zekrom on Thursday, December 16th at 10 a.m. and that's gonna go all the way until Friday, the 31st at 10 a.m. local time. And then we have the new year coming about, which is also crazy to think about. And then we have obviously the new year stuff that's going on, which we will include new raid bosses. Let me know if you guys have any inclination of what you think it could be, because it could even be correlated to a New Year's Eve event. So for the first time ever, Kyurem, along with Zekrom and Reshiram as a follow, is going to be shiny in Pokemon Go. Man, I think this shiny looks so incredibly cool, and this is the last of the three that I hope to add the 100% IV for. And some of you guys maybe, before we jump into this, like, oh, I don't know if I really want to raid for this, I don't know if it's really important, I don't really care about this Pokemon, but just remember, there is a black and a white version of Kyurem, and if you guys have seen me talk about it in some of my best of the best top attacker videos, I do talk about how important and powerful those Pokemon will be, but in specific, the black version, it is crazy powerful, and now that we have the form changes, I don't know if that's really how this is going to work, because Kyurem in the black and the white form are really, really strong, and we would all raid heavily and happily for these. But I do believe that they're all gonna have the same pool of XL candy. So if you're not raiding for this one and you still want the shiny, you still have, in my opinion, it's not confirmed, a buffer for the XL candy to be able to use it for a more powerful Pokemon in the future. Kyurem is a dragon and an ice type Pokemon. It's going to max out at level 50 at 4,041. It has an attack value of 246, a defense of 170, and a stamina of 245. So this Pokemon relatively even keeled, a little bit down on the defense, which is going to be something we can exploit when battling against this Pokemon. And since it's an ice and a dragon type Pokemon, the stab boost will be same type attack bonus for dragon moves as well as ice moves. It has 5 weaknesses that are going to be Steel, Rock, Ice, Fairy, and Dragon. And being a dragon and an ice type, it has 5 weaknesses, which are going to be Steel, Rock, Fighting, Fairy, and Dragon. So the dragon is typically weak to ice, Steel is going to resist ice, so it makes it a neutral to ice Pokemon, which then leads it into 3 resistances, which is going to be Electric, Grass, as well as Water, which then leads us into the 100% IVs. So for Kyurem, 2,042 every condition but 2 conditions which are going to boost it, which is going to be snowy weather for the ice and windy weather for the dragon at 2,553, and that's going to be at level 25 weather boosted. And let's pause here for an honorable viewing mention of black and white Kyurem and what their shinies look like, in specific the black version, extremely cool in Pokemon Go. Man, I cannot wait for these Pokemon at some point, hopefully it's going to be this year, to make their way into the game. Do you guys think that they will form change these Pokemon, or do you think we're going to raid it? Drop in the comments and let me know. Which then leads us into the moveset of Kyurem. So for the fast moves, it's going to get 2 things, which is going to be Steel Wing as well as Dragon Breath. And then as far as its charge moves, it gets Blizzard, is going to be hitting really hard, Draco Meteor hitting really hard, as well as Dragon Claw not hitting so hard, but it is spammy. So as far as the moves go, I just want to point out that rock type Pokemon are going to be weak to steel typing. So that's going to be slightly problematic for the counters, but fairy Pokemon are going to be 2 times resistant to dragon moves, which is effective. But steel is going to resist dragon, ice, as well as steel typing, which is quite cool and quite effective to be able to use. So we will see, and it's exciting to see what the top counters are going to be. And although that the rock type Pokemon are going to be weak to steel typing, it does not get a charged steel move. It only gets Steel Wing as a fast move, so it looks like we're relatively safe for all of those rock type Pokemon. This Pokemon does get moves that make it not challenging, but the moves are going to hit really hard. So if you can just dodge one of those moves if you're trying to stay alive, that makes it a whole lot more easy to be able to take down this Pokemon. Even though, I want to put this thought into your head as well, if you have a Pokemon that's resisting these moves and it gets hit with a hard hitting move, it's going to charge up your special attacks and help you do more of them to take down this Pokemon faster, even though you won't survive as long. Which then leads us into how many trainers is it going to be necessary to take down this Pokemon. So 1.85 trainers, which means it is doable by these stats. So thank you to PokeBattler for that, and thank you for Pokemon Go Hub and LeakDuck for putting together all these graphics so we can make this beautiful guide, which then leads us into the counters. We are going to start with the shadow counters, and then we're going to move into the non-shadow and the megas. In counter spot number 1, if you saw the weaknesses, you saw what is going to be effective against it. Can you guess what the top shadow counter is going to be? It's going to be Shadow Metagross sitting in spot number 1 with the moveset of Bullet Punch and Meteor Mash. It is going to have 13 deaths on this Pokemon and 443 seconds to take it down. So if you have a couple Shadow Metagross, this will churn through this Kyurem, and it will be able to take it down extremely fast. Which then leads us into counter spot number 2, which we are going to skip over. We'll come back to it, but it's a regular Metagross, which then leads us into counter spot number 4, which is going to be Shadow Machamp. So Shadow Machamp is actually beat out by 2 non-Shadow Pokemon in this scenario, but the moveset of this Pokemon is going to be Counter as well as Dynamic Punch, but this Pokemon, 30 deaths on this Pokemon, 512 seconds to take it down. So albeit faster than the other 2 Pokemon that are non-Shadows, it is going to have more deaths, so that's why it's going to be ranked in spot number 4, because the sheer amount of Pokemon that you're going to have to use, even though it does a lot of damage, that's why we don't use DPS solely. We use DPS times TDO, because if you only look at DPS, this one might be ranked as spot number 1. But spot number 1 is going to be dying out so much that it's like not able to get off enough damage to be able to make it effective. So 30 Pokemon here to go as opposed to 13 from the Metagross. You see why we use that DPS times TDO comparison. And then we have Counter and Dynamic Punch in spot number 6 on Hariyama, followed by Smackdown as well as Stone Edge on the Shadow Tyranitar in spot number 7, which then is going to wipe this clean, and we are on to the non-Shadows and the Megas included. What is going to be the best Mega? What do you guys think? So as far as spot number 1, we have Metagross. So Metagross, same exact death count as the Shadow, which is quite surprising. 536 seconds compared to 444 seconds. So it's almost 100 seconds slower at taking down this Kyurem than is the Shadow form, which is mind-blowing. That's why the Shadows are so important, guys, to be able to get. I know they are more expensive, but man, they really pack a punch at the top of the charts when available. And then next, we have Terrakion with its new moveset of Sacred Sword combined with Smackdown. It does have a little bit more deaths, but it is going to be 527 seconds. This Pokemon does need to have the Sacred Sword for it to be this effective. It was normally not, but I love that moveset on this Pokemon. And then next, we have Lucario with Counter and Aura Sphere. Love the Lucario, 20 deaths, same as Terrakion, so pretty good right there, especially with it being combined with the Steel typing. And then we are on to the Conkeldurr with Counter and Dynamic Punch. And then next, we have Metal Claw, actually, and Draco Meteor on the Dialga in counter spot number 5. This Pokemon is not going to be weak to any of the moves. It's going to be neutral to 2 of the moves, which is going to be Ice as well as Dragon, so they will still hit it relatively hard, but at least you'll be able to get the Dragon typing in there for this Pokemon. And then we have the Smackdown and Rock Wrecker on the Rhyperior. Remember, Rock Wrecker is a Calm Day move. It's going to be able to be evolved this weekend. If you want to check out all the evolution moves, check them out up here. Not the most effective, but a very effective rock type attacker. Only rock type attacker, all rock, in the top 6 counters for this Pokemon. And then we have in spot number 7, Counter and Dynamic Punch on the Machamp. Love that Pokemon, even though the Shadow is more effective, but it still has a lot of deaths. And then we're going to the recommended Mega, which is going to be Mega Gyarados with Dragon Tail and Outrage. That is the premier Dragon type move. 18 deaths on this Pokemon, 618 seconds. So neither water nor dark is effective against this Pokemon. So that means you're using something, yes, doing more damage, but it's not mega boosting, and the mega boosting is very important. So I would suggest to reroute that all around, and I would go after the Mega Steelix. Brand new, but it boosts all of the steel typings. So you will be able to use that to be able to go after that. And if you don't use that Pokemon, I would suggest Mega Lopunny if you're going after the fighters, because Lopunny will boost the Sacred Sword as well as the Shadow Machamp, the Lucario, the Hariyama, and other fighting type Pokemons that are sitting in the top spots. So choose for yourself. Are you going to be going after Metagrosses? And then if so, use Mega Steelix because of that steel type boost. And if not, Lopunny for all of the fighting types. But since Metagross is sitting up top, guys, I think that it's pretty safe to say that a lot of us are going to be using full parties of, if not Shadow, all regular Metagross, because that's in counter spots number 2, number 1 non-Shadow. And then we have Zacian with Metal Claw and Play Rough, followed by Genesect with Metal Claw and Magnet Bomb in both of its forms, followed by Mega Charizard, actually Y, with Dragon Claw and Dragon Breath on this Pokemon. Dragon Breath being the Calm Day move that you can evolve coming up. Also, I wanted to point out that this one is not boosting Dragon typings, but it will also not be weak to Dragon typing, so Mega Charizard X will boost it, but it is going to take massive damage from Draco Meteor. And then we have the Zekrom with Dragon Breath and Outrage, but 34 deaths on this Pokemon. And then we have the Excadrill with the moveset of Metal Claw and Iron Head. This Pokemon is a combination steel typing. It's kind of far down on the list, but it does have a lot of resistances with that steel combination. Then we have Low Kick and Focus Blast on the Lopunny that we did talk about. And then remember, this Pokemon is glassy. It is weak to steel, so do not play with it against steel type, but we have a Rampardos with Smackdown and Rock Slide. And then in spot number 17, we are way far down the list, but it's the only fairy that we have seen make it up here is going to be Charm and Dazzling Gleam. I can't wait for Mega Gardevoir to start coming out, to be able to use more fairy typings and to be able to get the boost, especially when it's resistant double time for the dragon type moves. And then finally we have Haxorus. Haxorus is going to be Dragon Tail and Dragon Claw combination. So those are all the counters. Please stay as close as you can to the top, especially because there's Metagrosses and it does need those Comday moves, but great Pokemon, which is then going to lead us into the weather conditions. So as far as sunny weather, we have no effect. Partly cloudy weather is going to boost all of our rock type counters. So rock typings are going to do a lot of damage during this time frame. And then the cloudy weather is going to be really effective here. We have a boost to our fighting types as well as our fairy types, but for the fairy types, they're way far down on the list, but the fighting types do make it close to the top. So that may be something you do consider during that time frame, which then is going to lead us into the rainy weather. There is going to be no boost for any of the Pokemon in the rainy weather. In the snowy weather, we're going to get a boost to Steel Wing as well as Blizzard on this Pokemon. So during the snowy weather, be careful of that Blizzard. It will hit very, very, very hard. And it's also going to boost all of our Steel type counters as well. So Metagross coming in there during this time frame will absolutely shred the Kyurem, which then leads us into the foggy weather that has no effect. But as far as the windy weather, Kyurem is going to get boosted all the way to level 25. It's going to boost all of its dragon type moves. And during the windy weather, if it doesn't have dragon moves, you may see some of your dragons being recommended, even though we didn't see them in the top spot without the dragon going in with dragon. And it does have ice as well, so that's a little problematic. But if it has Dragon Claw, you may see, I know it's kind of a stretch down there, Steel Wing and Dragon Claw, you may see something like a Rayquaza get recommended, especially in the windy weather to take down that Pokemon. But with the Draco Meteor, that is a for sure one shot out with that Pokemon, being that it's a little bit on the glacier end. So with all that said, guys, good luck out there. I can't wait to see what you guys do with Kyurem and Pokemon Go. Good luck getting the shinies, but just remember, it is going to be out for 2 weeks. So be cautious, because look at the Zekrom and Reshiram. Some of you guys may had good luck, but there's a lot of people out there that have grinded a long time and have been not encountering the shiny, which I just want to prep you guys, if you want to see the video up here, about what the raid strategy is and what could potentially look like for those Pokemon. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. To all my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody who takes their support, subscription, and participation to the next level, I'm going to see you guys out on the next video. Peace. I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.